Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of This Is Me Attitude Podcast with me, your one and only host, Rachel Hills, just a girl in her 20s, trying to figure this crazy life out and bring you along the way every single step of the way. And today is no different as we dive in to a very important topic going into a brand new year. I want to start things off by saying Happy New Year, and I hope your holiday season was absolutely amazing. I know mine was very, very God-filled, and I was very excited about it, and he really took me out of doing all the work and hustle for a full week in between Christmas and New Year's, and it was absolutely incredible. I was not expecting it at all, and I spent way more time in the Word and praying, and wow, it was what I needed, and I really truly pray that you can do that maybe at the end of this year, and that is part of what I will be talking about today, of how God's plan is simply better than ours because He has the overall outlook of everything when we don't always see the big picture. And that was a big reminder of me this last week, and also just talking about the new year. And usually that comes with setting goals or setting intentions, and then we think we're going to do all these fantastic things, and then 2 weeks into January we're like, but I want a brownie. I'm going to go have that brownie. And then our goals fall apart. So in this next section, I want to talk about a few things that have helped me set goals and really be with the Lord while I set the goals, because this is the first year that I have taken into consideration that I should pray and really think about them with God before doing it, instead of just doing it for myself or thinking that I'm the leader and going really strong ahead with just myself. And to be honest, looking back, I now understand why a lot of goals didn't happen, because I was trying to do it in my timeline and not God's timeline, and that has been a huge struggle of mine, and I know that I cannot be the only one, and that's why I wanted to bring it to the podcast. So this next slide is going to, or next section, not slide, is going to be a few takeaways that I want to give you that you can go into setting your goals or intentions for the year. With this also being said, I know that there is probably 1,002 podcasts out there like, this is exactly what you do to have a successful 2024, and you can do this, and this, and if you don't, well, you failed. I'm not here to tell you that. I'm here to say, go with the Lord. He's going to show you, because He has the plan for you. I do not have the plan for you. I do not know the different aspects of your life the way that you and the Lord do. Each person has a completely different relationship with the Lord, and I've really seen that over this last year, and I want you to have that in consideration. So again, this is all just tips, tricks. You can take some, you can leave some, you can listen to this entire podcast and then be at the end be like, yeah, she's crazy, I'm not taking any of it. I will not take offense to that. So let's dive into the tips and tricks that I have for you. Okie dokie, I have 6 different tips and tricks that I would like to share with you that you can take with you. Number 1, really think and pray about it. 2, did you write too many things? 3, is it pushing you out of your comfort zone and really lining up with what the Lord wants you to do or what the Lord has told you that you need to do? 4, tell someone about them. 5, hold them with an open hand to the Lord. And 6, if He is completely uprooting you or pushing you in a different direction a month or 2 into the year, let Him do it. There's a reason that He is doing it. There's a reason that He is leading you there. So now that I've said the 6 points, I'm going to go into more of a description of each of them. And number 1, with really think and pray about it, do just that. Sit, truly think about what you want to see happen this year or what you believe that God is telling you to. Pray, ask Him what you are supposed to be putting your focus and time into. We're not getting time back. That is something that everyone knows, but I feel like not everyone really thinks about it. We are not getting this exact moment back. We are not getting this exact day back. You are not getting this exact day back. What does He truly want you to do while you're in this limited time here on earth and really showing the kingdom and all of the great things there? So really, truly sit and pray and think about it before you even write your list, before you have the notebook in front of you, before you have your computer in front of you. Number 2, with did you write too many things? This honestly is calling myself out. I love lists. I am such a type A person. I'm like, I'm going to get 1,000 things done in one day and it's going to be great. And then I get mad at myself when I don't get 1,000 things done, when really, realistically, I'm not supposed to get that many things done in a day. It's not good or what God is wanting me to do. So when you look at the list of goals that you have or intentions, whatever you would like to move forward in calling them or doing for the year, really look to see if those are all of the things that God is calling you to, and if there's some that maybe you added that you thought that He said, but really it was you and not the Lord telling you that, and that you've added too many. Because if you look at your list and you're already overwhelmed or already like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to do it. This is going to be way, 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 way too much. Take a breath. I again suggest praying about it and really seeing which ones need to stay. For number 3, is it pushing you out of your comfort zone and aligning with what God is telling you to do? This kind of goes with the last 2 that I said, but we're not meant to just sit in our comfort zone and sit in this like, oh yeah, everything is great, even though I could change that, I could do this, I could listen to God more. No, if there's big goals, if there's big visions that he is giving you, there's a reason that he is doing that. Please, please, please follow that, and please really look at your list of goals / intentions of what you have for this year. Is that really going out of your comfort zone? Are you really pushing yourself? Are you just kind of slacking off? And I don't mean that in a harsh way. I mean that in just being truly honest with yourself and saying, okay, are these something that I could really do? Or do I need to push myself more? Or do I need to take one off so I can really accelerate in one of the other goals? And so on and so forth. Number 4, tell someone about it. This is something that has been super, super helpful to me in my business and in just life. I have what we call accountability buddies in my business where I check in with them, if not daily, every other day to say, hey, I'm working on this, this, and this. Please keep me accountable and check in with me at the end of the day to make sure I did it. Or I've prayed about God keeping me accountable. And I know that might not be the most popular thing to do, or maybe you've never heard of it, but he definitely keeps you accountable, and as long as what you're praying for aligns with his word, he will give you that prayer. And let me tell you, he has given me the prayer a few times of keeping accountable, because I can hear him in my head saying, nope, you said you're going to do this, go do it. And that's also why I'm recording a podcast episode right now, because he's keeping me accountable in that. Another really good aspect of telling people is close friends or family. For myself, I wrote out my goals for 2024 and I shared it with my fiance, and then he wrote his out, and then we also have a list of goals that are together. So I have mine, he has his, and then we have one together. And that has been very, very helpful in just seeing it out on paper and saying, hey, this is what I'm going to work on as long as God allows me to, and this is what you're going to work on. Let's keep each other accountable. Number 5, hold them with an open hand to the Lord. This is something that I just heard from a mentor, and I absolutely love the concept because it is very, very true. When we are planning anything, we can plan things, but the Lord, like I said, can change it. So with your goals, if you imagine you holding out your hand, open-handed, open palm, and just setting the goals on your hand and just having it there in front of the Lord, and knowing that, yes, you're working towards them, yes, you're building the future towards them, but if the Lord were to come in and be like, nope, I'm going to take this goal away because now we're going to focus on this, let him do it. Do not grasp your hand, white knuckle it around those goals that you can't change anything, because that is not going to be helpful to you. That's not going to be helpful in your faith walk or any of it. So if you always want to have an open hand, and like I said, this is something that I just learned from a mentor and I absolutely love it. And I think it's just a really, really good concept to have as a visual as well. And no, I did not forget number 6, and that is, if he has other plans, let him lead you. We have way less control than society would like to tell us we do. We have way less control than what this world thinks we do. We can pretty much control our reactions to things, and that is about it. The Lord leads us. We need to let him lead us. This is something that I am saying to myself right now, because I struggle with this very, very much, of giving things over to the Lord and really just letting him lead my days, saying, oh, you wanted me to do this? Okay, I'm going to take a left turn here instead of going right when I thought I was going to go right. Oh, you want me to record the podcast instead of doing this in my business today? Oh, okay, I need to go and do the recording. Again, that's what happened for me today, and that's just an example. But this is something that is very, very prevalent and very, very not used in our society, because we are taught in society, you're number one, you're fantastic, go, 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 it's all about you, take care, number one. Well, number one is God, number one is not us, and we as Christians really need to, I think, be stronger in sharing that and just talking about it. And that was a little bit of a side tangent. So now I'm going to go into some scriptures that I wanted to point out that really just go with setting goals and keeping God as number one. So this is Proverbs 16:9, and it is, in their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. Again, I really think that goes with the point 6 that I had of if he has plans to change you, let him change you. Another one I want to point out is Jeremiah 29:11, and it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Again, that is with the Lord in control, and he may not tell you exactly what the future looks like right now, but following him and having him as your number one leader is always the best way to do it. And again, I'm talking to myself as just as much as I'm talking to you listening, because this is something that I'm working through as well. And the last scripture that I wanted to point out is Colossians 3:23, and it says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human matters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward." This one really hits home for me because I am a hard worker and I like working on things, but I also tend to put myself in I did this, I did that, I did it for me, when really we're doing all of this hard work for the Lord, and we need to put the glory and the light and all of the good things onto him instead of ourselves. And just like that, we're at the end of another amazing episode. I cannot say thank you enough for tuning in each episode. If this is your first episode or if you're somewhere in between, thank you so much. It means the absolute world to me that I'm able to share my faith in another aspect. And I truly pray that this just helps you grow in your walk with the Lord. And if you have any takeaways from today's episode, I would love to hear from you over on Instagram at Rachel Fun Hills. Please tag me in your stories, hit me in the DMs, wherever you would like. I would love to hear what parts stuck out to you and what parts you're going to take into 2024, if any of them. And like I say at the end of every single episode, never, ever, ever forget, God loves you.